Hi everyone, I'm doing an art journal page today and I'm starting with grays. I've got black, I've got two shades of gray, and I've got white here, and I'm going to just make some all kinds of shades of gray in between here on the page. That is going to be the start. I'm using a makeup sponge and the black and the white just so I will have more variation in the color. I don't have all shades of gray, so this will just help me along. So I'm taking a little bit of the darker gray with a little bit of the black, and I'm just going to start smearing it. Now you can go circle, you can go crisscross, whatever feel easier for you. It's just the first layer, and I'm trying to have the darker color to the edges, so I'm even picking a little bit more black. I can always go and do another layer if it's too dark, so it's just playing. And this smearing with the makeup sponge helps have some kind of movement, and again in between shades, so there is variation. And I don't have any design for it or anything. I'm putting it quite randomly. The only thing that I do try to do is keep the darker color towards the edges, because that's how I like it. It gives a more dimensional feel to a page when you keep the dark to the edges. So I'm just playing with the colors and putting them randomly on the page. And as I said, if I don't like something, I can go and on top of it and do something else. And I'm trying to blend in between so I won't have harsh lines, but otherwise it really doesn't matter. I'm overlapping in between, and again it just gives more variation and a more blended look. I can go in, add a little bit darker if I want to. It's really up to you. And I know it looks like a mess, but that's the start. The start is a mess. So I didn't use the white. It was enough just going with the black and the grays, but I am going to use the white. I also have white gesso here that I will use also. And let's see, I think I need a little bit more here, just so it would look a little bit more blended, but that's okay. So, and a little bit more black here, and a little bit here. Yeah, okay, now I'm happy. Okay, so now I want to add some visual texture to my background, and I'm now going to use first I'm going to try the lighter gray. I've got some of my stamps that I made from a craft foam. This is thick craft foam. It's 4 or 5 millimeters thick, and I used a what it's called, ironing soldier, no, a heat tool to make the indentation, but it can be done just with a pen or something to do the markings. So I'm putting now some of the light gray, and I want to see how it looks on the page. Okay, so it's visible enough so I can play with that, because I want to save the white for other details on the page. So once again, I'm just spreading it around quite randomly. Yeah, and with stamps that are made from craft foams, it's best to wipe them from the acrylic paint when you are finished and not leave it be to dry. So just wipe this, and I'm going to take this one, and again I'm going to put some of the light gray here. Yeah. Okay. And I'll try because the spiral is in my way. Okay, that's good enough. And maybe here, why not? And maybe a little bit here. And I'm thinking using this one. Oh, I need to wipe before it dries, and it's so hot here that it will dry fast. Okay. Not enough, but never mind. And just maybe this large stamp, maybe somewhere here in the center. Yeah, it's good enough. I don't need it to be too much in your face in the background. It needs to be in the background. Okay, so I've got this, and now I want to stamp with white. I'm going to try first I've got here a little dragonfly stamp, a clear stamp, and I'm going to do it with the white acrylic paint. Yeah. I want now to do a lot of small details with white. I put here some gesso because sometimes, depending on the quality of the paint, the acrylic paint is not enough to get a nice print if it's too thin, and sometimes it's not opaque enough, so I took gesso in case this white won't work. Okay, continuing stamping the dragonfly. I like the same element to be at least in three areas of my page. It looks better that way. So if I have dragonflies here, I will put in more dragonflies here and probably more here. And also the circles that I've stamped are well, they are all around, but they are spread out, so it would be interesting enough. Again with the spiral here. Oops, never mind. Okay. It won't stay gray, don't worry. This is just the start. I think maybe one here and one here and one here. Okay, also going to wipe this, especially clear stamps. Wipe them if you are using acrylic paint. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe I want something else with white. I've got this, maybe a spiral, maybe. Okay. Oh, nice. I'm not overly concerned with great print or anything, just having more interest in the background. Yeah. This is again all kinds of craft foam, just glued to this, I don't know, condensed sponge, foam, whatever, from kids' playthings, from the cheap store, of course. Okay, and now I'm thinking just a little bit of white splatter, and then I need to let everything dry before I continue to applying paint, because as I said, this is not going to stay gray. I'm adding water to my white acrylic paint, and I'm using a fan brush. More water. Okay. Okay, I like it. Now I'm going to let this dry completely before I continue. I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry, and now I want to do a wash of color on top of it. I'm going to use watercolors. This is the Paul Rubens set that I have. You can use any watercolors that you want. You can use acrylic paint just diluted with water, and start with less. You don't want an opaque cover that will get rid of everything. The main point here is to do a wash on top of it. And even with watercolors, you can also use sprays if they are translucent, not opaque. So I'm taking a watercolor brush with water, and I'm starting with some blue. And as I said, less is less is more. I'm starting lightly, and if I feel it needs more, then I will add more. And I want greens and blue, so I am changing as I go and letting them mix and create in between shade. Too much paint, so I'm adding water. If I will want it more vivid, then I can always go back again, but I prefer to go lightly and add as I go. I can use more than 2 colors. It doesn't have to be just these 2 colors. And as you can see, I'm adding where I think it's needed. I'm spreading it around. You can even go on top of it with a makeup sponge and distress inks, because it will be also translucent. So you can do this kind of thing with lots of options. You just need to lay down a grayscale, if that's, I don't know how to call it anything else, as first layer, and then play on top of it with whatever colors that you want. Now, because it's lots of water, the page is getting curvy in several places, and then you get puddles in several places, which is okay, I don't mind. But you can go in with almost a dry brush and pick. If you don't like a puddle, you just pick out whatever you want, and you can go again and spread it. So you can play with it however you want, just have fun with it. There are no rules, just have fun, and that's it. And my background is kind of dark, but that's okay, because I want my focal image to be quite light on top of it. So I started dark, then I stamped a little bit lighter. Now I'm doing a translucent layer, and then I will go and do some light focal point. I can also go and work and add more details if that's what I feel is needed here. And as you can see, I'm just going back and spreading and adding a little bit of paint here and there. It's really up to you to decide, and when you feel it's what you want to see. Otherwise, there are no rules to it. A little bit blue here. If I see a place that is turning too much of the same, I'm adding again. I like the variations, and I do want a all kinds of color here. I'm even thinking of adding a lighter green in several places, a little bit. Not sure about it, but again, if I don't like it, I can spread it, I can wipe it with a baby wipe. So I'm spreading it. Okay, I'm liking it. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry completely, and then we'll see if I need more paint or if I can graduate to my focal point. I'll be back. Okay, so this is dry, and surprise, surprise, I'm going to do a dragonfly as my focal point, as if no one guessed it. Okay, so I have this stencil that I made. I'm just going to trace the outer lines of the dragonfly because I'm not interested in stenciling the dragonfly. I'm going to take, I've got this silver uniball signal. I hope it will show. And I'm just starting with tracing again outer lines of the dragonfly, and because I want to do some doodling and not stencil the dragonfly. I probably have the template that I use to make the stencil in my template binder, but I just thought I will reach this stencil and not go looking for the template. Let's see. Yeah, haven't missed anything. Okay, so now I'm going to just start connecting the shapes. I hope you can see it. Metallics don't show very well in a video, sadly. So I hope you see what I'm doing. Right now I'm just connecting the outer shape of my dragonfly. Yeah. Okay, don't need this anymore. It's just in the way. Okay, so just doodling. I don't know. I'm going with the flow here. This is completely and utterly unplanned. Whatever feels right at that exact moment, that's what I'm doing. I'm just having fun with it. That's the great thing about it. You can do the same thing over and over again with the same stencil, and it will always look different. Just great, and I love it. Okay, wings. I need to think, how am I going to do the wings? I really want to do spirals. Well, I'm gonna go with spirals, all kinds, small ones, big ones. Whatever just goes with the movement of my hand. That's it. I really don't have any reason. I'm just doodling. Of course it's gonna take some time, but I'm already in love with it. Just doing spirals, and it already looks great to me. Now, if you don't like to doodle, you don't have to. You can step inside, you can stencil. So many ways to go about it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go and continue doing the same thing over and over again on each wing. So I'm gonna come back when I'm finished. Okay, so this took a little bit of time, but I'm so pleased with it. Now I want to do some kind of a little bit of shadow to my focal point. I'm using a 10B pencil. You can use a what it's called. You can use black or gray. Watercolor pencils. You can use all kinds of pencils, or even you can do the shadow with watercolors. It depends what you feel is best for you to use. And as you see, I'm putting the pencil, and then I'm using this blending stump to smudge it on the page so it won't be too harsh. You can also smear it with your finger or with a Q-tip. You don't need to have this. And maybe a little bit more of a shadow here. And I've got some crazy idea that I'm thinking of doing that was completely and utterly not planned for this page. I only saw the dragonfly as a focal point, but now I'm thinking of adding one more element to the page. Yeah, I think the shadow worked nicely. Maybe a little bit more here. It helps the focal point look more dimensional and more visible on the page. So I've got some, as I said, a crazy idea. I'm thinking of doing some kind of like patch moon here, and these are my circle templates made from ugly 12 by 12 because we need to use that uglies. I think maybe I'm trying to mark I'm going for it. Whatever will be, will be. Okay, so I've got this silver acrylic marker, and this is from the cheap store, and I don't know why, but I'm going to do something like that, and maybe, just maybe, I don't know why, but I'm thinking gold, but right now I'm just going with the silver, and we'll see. Crazy, I'm telling you, it's crazy, the things that just come in my mind. Okay, continuing. It's, don't know why. Why am I doing this stuff? I should probably have done it with gold, but I don't know. Just called for silver. Maybe I will add a little bit of gold in between, so there will be a little bit of distinction between this element, which is quite big on the page, and my dragonfly. And I don't have any explanation for this kind of lines that I do here. It's just another form of doodling. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to continue with it. if all the way or part way. I'm deciding as I'm going. At least I think another row. I'm loving it, and now I feel like it doesn't need to be a moon. I feel like I need another one here. I'm not I'm totally crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So which circle did I use here? Was it this one? Yeah, okay, going for it. Let's see. I'm crazy, I'm telling you. Looney Bin. I'm not even bothering to erase the white line. Doesn't bother me at all. But I do feel that I need to add a little bit of gold in between, so there will be some kind of distinction between the dragonfly and these two elements. I'm trying to keep my hand in the air because it takes time. If it doesn't matter if it's Uniball silver or if it's acrylic a marker, it takes a little bit of while to dry, and if you put a hand in it, of course you will waste paint on yourself and you will smudge it on the page. So I'm trying to be careful and not put my hand in it. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to reach for some gold in hopes it works, because I've got some problems with golds right now. Seems okay. I'm thinking of just dropping it somewhere in between. Again, not planned, don't care, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Just dropping it here in between. And now I'm just going and doing it here, like almost another row, but just with the gold. Okay, doing the same thing here, and I think that's would be it for me for this page. So not planned all this last part, but I really like it. What do you know? Let's hope that when I'm finished with this, I won't feel the urge to do another row of these lines. And that it would be it. That's it. It finished. Let's see. Yes, I like it. That's it. I'm leaving it be. Maybe I would have done another row, I'm not sure, but I'm leaving it. That's it. So that's my page. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll do something similar and have fun with it. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.